Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Mayhem, the podcast of indie game studio Total Mayhem Games. My name is Soraya, community manager over at TMG, and with me today is the infamous voice, the scariest thing you'll ever hear, but the loveliest thing you'll ever see. Ruud, welcome,
Wow.
thank you for joining me.
Jesus, this intro. Yeah, okay, hello everybody. I'm Ruud. Apparently the scariest thing you'll ever hear, but the most beautiful thing you'll ever see. Thank you very much, Soraya. Yeah.
Tell us, who are you aside from the voice and the face?
Yeah, okay, let's dive right into it. Yeah.
Directly.
So I'm Ruud Renting. I work at Total Mayhem Games, obviously, and I'm the creative director, amongst other things. I'm the art lead as well. And I've been working here now since the beginning of We Were Here Together. That's where I got into the company. And yeah, I rolled in there as a 3D artist, and then I came up with a story, and everyone was like, yeah, we're going to do this story. And nowadays I'm the creative director here. So that's who I am.
Oh wow, started not at the bottom, just somewhere in the middle, and now we're
Yeah.
here.
A 3D artist is totally at the bottom.
Oh, not at all. No. Don't you dare.
No.
Don't you dare. No, okay,
No.
so now it's you that just leading us towards the new announcement, because last month we announced the new game, We Were Here Forever.
Yes.
Everyone has seen the trailer. I mean, if you haven't seen it, go first watch that and then come back here, because we're going to talk about that. Okay, so prepare yourself. Can you tell us just a tiny bit more about that? Just anything with We Were Here Forever for the people who have no idea.
What I can tell about We Were Here Forever, is that your question?
Yeah, kinda, or maybe, I don't know, is it the first game we ever made, or is it a standalone?
Oh, yeah, so, okay. So, We Were Here Forever is the fourth game we're making now in the We Were Here series. Of course, we have We Were Here 2, We Were Here Together, now there is Forever in it. And yeah. So I have to be careful what I say. Obviously, I don't want to spoil stuff for anybody, so maybe, I'll take a little bit longer time to think about stuff, but well, if you've seen the trailer, of course, and you are a fan, then you probably sort of know what Forever is going to be about. So we're playing two explorers that were left behind in Castle Rock.
Ooh.
Yeah, scary stuff. And yeah, I mean, if you know We Were Here, you know what's going to happen, most likely. And of course, we've tried to do some things differently, I guess, this time around, trying to sort of innovate on, because Together was, we sort of started doing a bit more with story, right? And you had characters in it, whereas We Were Here and We Were Here 2 were just more like puzzles next to after each other, and a door opens, and we're trying to do more with story and more with world building, I guess, and coming up with more inventive or more creative environments where you can be. And so we tried that with Together, and that worked out pretty well. I think most people really like Together, and it's always, actually, this is a bit of a tangent, but that's when I first learned like how important sort of community is for me, because I never knew that before. I always worked on other stuff and not games. And after Together, when I saw the enthusiasm and how involved people are with the story and the game, I was like, oh my god, people take this serious, And it was so cool to see. And so now, I guess in We Were Here Forever, we just want to give people more, better, larger, more beautiful, just new puzzle concepts, trying out new stuff in the gameplay that we haven't necessarily done in the other games. So yeah, that's
all in
what you
all,
can look.
just more in Forever.
Yes, yeah, faster, stronger, harder, better.
Better, stronger. Yes, absolutely. So how long have you been working now for Forever? Because we've been hinting this to the community quite often already. So I can imagine that the process started way earlier, way back in the days. For how long have you been working it up so far?
Well, in my opinion, we haven't even been working on it for that long. I think it's I'm not sure exactly when. Like it feels like a year now, or something like that. When I guess I first started writing like the first story for We Were Here Forever, and so there was a pre-production phase of I don't know, like 3 months of just sort of coming up with the visuals and story and what do we want to do with the game and etc. And then we started more on puzzle design and stuff, and the whole team got involved after that. So about a year or something. Yeah.
Okay, so a year, so not very actively working on it, but more the creative process as well, just shaping it.
Yeah, well, like the first 2 months, maybe, right? That's not like not the entire team is involved. It's more just like the groundworks of where it's gonna go. But then after that, once we have a sort of a grasp of what the story will be and what the environments will be, like after that, it's just full on. Everybody in the team have
Let's
at
go.
it. Here's the story. Let's go. And that's been I feel like it's about a year for everybody, or a little less. I'm not sure. I'm not good with timelines and shit.
Time is
So I don't know.
fluid.
Yeah. Everything happens at once, man.
Yes, just everything at once, all the dimensions come together, and there was forever. So
Sure.
just to get an idea of the creative process, is it everything finished in your head right now, or is it still shaping, or how does that
Oh
work?
yeah. No. Yeah. So obviously there's a first story and a first draft, but from the moment you start working on a game and you have artists and game designers like taking this story and taking the sort of the areas that you first come up with, and it evolves. The story, like even where it's gonna end and stuff, is still evolving, because I guess, and that's for all sort of writing. Maybe I don't know, but I think so. Is that you never like you have an idea of what you're gonna do. It's like it starts here and ends up there, and maybe the first 50% is sort of set in stone. It feels right, but then that 50% sort of tells you what the rest of the story is going to be or something. So the story is sort of it evolves during the whole process of making it. And some things you can write like the most epic shit, right? Like whatever, think of something epic, but then in production, and you have an art team of 6 people, right? So it's not like suddenly like, okay, let's scale it down, because there's no way that we can make this in the time that we have.
We're still
So
an indie game studio.
yeah. I mean, the total studio is what, 20 people. So we always start big, but then we always have to sort of
see what
bring
we can
it back
do.
down. Yeah.
Absolutely. And do you use the experience of people? So in the studio, just to clarify for the listeners here, in the studio we sometimes just test the games, or we just do a little walkthrough. Do you use the experience of people, as in you see how they react or anything like that, to shape the story, or is it just you and your brain and just throwing it out there?
No, yeah, I do test. We always test everything, right? So if you make a puzzle, you test it, but the same goes with a story, I guess. Is you and story is not just like what's being told to you or whatever, but it's also like, what am I presented with at what time in the game, right? So I'm walking somewhere, like for instance in Together, when you first see the wall, like that's a story moment, because it's the flare and it's the wall, but it's not it's not a cutscene, whatever, it just happens. And that, for example, is a like an important thing to test, because what's important is that people see the flare. But yeah, it's all about layout. Like how are you going to have people, like how do they need to walk, so that, and when do we have to time the flare and that people see it, and even if they're derping around looking at our stuff, like will they still see the flare and stuff like that? You have to test. And then maybe stuff like cutscenes or whatever, or where you actually take away control of the player, that's less sort of it's also tested, of course, like okay, does it work, do people know what's going on? But there isn't always like a hell of a lot of time to like throw things around. So you also have to be pretty sure upfront about what you're going to do. So sometimes it's tested, sometimes it's changed. It's all just a fluid process, basically. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. I see. You were talking about taking away the control, and that's what you basically do in the trailer. You really just present what we want to show the world. If we can dive into that just a little bit, because it was just released, people are still hyped about it. Can you tell us more about the trailer making process and how does that work into just making the game process and anything? How?
How? Good question. How?
Well, thank you.
Making the trailer. Yeah. Well, first there are a bunch of meetings, obviously, with a bunch of people. Marketing is involved. We have like a marketing company, and they of course have this whole campaign of what they're gonna do. And first, it's like just getting a lot of information into my brain, basically, from like what are all the wishes, and for community, because this trailer is made for the community. It's not made for people who don't know what We Were Here is. It doesn't show, like, if you don't know what We Were Here is, it's actually maybe a bad trailer, right? Because you're looking at it's like, what is this game? I don't know, but it's not made for people. Maybe in the future there'll be other stuff that's made for other people, but right now it's about the community. So
more explaining to explorers, walkie-talkie, blah blah. But this indeed is
showing gameplay and all stuff like that. But right now we just wanted to give a. So like maybe the main thing that I heard was like, okay, we want to give the community something to start, so that they start talking about it, So like, ooh, what's gonna happen here, and you want to give information, obviously, but you don't want to give anything away either. You want it to sort of be speculative. So now with all that in mind, usually I'll start with like, okay, what do I want to see? Well, obviously the Jester is in there. What do we want to see now? Well, we want to see the two characters, the redesigns of the two characters from We Were Here 1 and 2, and how can we recognize them? Well, we'll have to redesign the walkie-talkies, and we'll show the walkie-talkie, at least one big in frame, and the other one so people can look and recognize, oh, okay, it's going to be about those characters. So that was important. So I'll start with a setup. I'll just grab the characters, and I'll just start playing around with the camera, and I'll draw storyboards, and I'll write text of like what's the Jester gonna say, or what do we hear, and blah blah blah. And then at some point I think I had about 5 versions of like different type of trailers, and then I basically just step up to the bosses and be like, oh, okay, so which one do you like best? Okay, this. Okay, cool. And at some point when I have like enough information, basically that's probably the biggest challenge, and that's very stressful, but it's also very fun. Like, we make the trailers ourselves, right? So we don't have a other company or whatever that does it for us, which is fun for the art team, I think, to do. But it also, of course, takes away time from making the game, so you have to be careful not to spend too much time on the trailer. And I think we made this trailer, I don't know, like 1.5 months or something.
And how many people worked on it in that month and a half?
It's let me see. So from the art team, it's 3 people, if I'm saying that correctly. 3 people of the art team. We have a writer that helps me like write out the whole story and stuff. We have a sound designer, so a couple of people there, and then of course you have the marketing people that are sort of involved with it. But the people that actually like make most of the trailer are artists from the art team. So yeah, and then I don't know, we just make a trailer in 1.5 months, and everything's in there. And what's fun is I guess. So we were talking about like, okay, we hint at certain stuff, right? So okay, these are the players of We Were Here 1 and 2, for example, which isn't really a hint, because basically we show it to you.
Yeah, but still, I was kind of mesmerized. people really saw that. I at first was like, okay, well, we'll see who'll pick it up. Maybe only the diehard fans, but most
Yeah.
of the community immediately, even just with the sneak preview that we gave to people a week before the announcement, people like,
Mm,
oh, we recognize that walkie-talkie. It's like, oh, people are aware of details, which is kind of
mm,
interesting as well, because they will take that with them in the experience of playing the game eventually.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, well, the walkie-talkie is like full on in frame,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's like a thing that I really want you to see. But there's so in the mostly I guess in the text, which you might not understand now, but there's a lot of sort of double speak in it, or like the Jester is talking to.
Yes, tell us more.
It's,
Don't hold back. Don't hold
no,
back on our God. Do it. Do
well,
it. Do it.
it's just like, what he's saying is like aimed at multiple, like it's aimed at you, right?
Mm-mm.
Like if you listen to it and well, you're left behind me. uh that's my imitation of the Jester, by the way.
Oh
No.
wow, best imitation
Um
ever.
but so that's what I like. So in the text itself there's a lot of double speak, like every sentence means like 3 or 4 different things.
Okay,
And
so what you're basically saying here is we need to re-listen to it 100 times, and eventually we'll understand all the extra layers.
I don't know if you'll understand it now, but like like after, I'm curious to, like, after people actually play the game and then listen to this and they're like, oh, I see what you did there, or something like that. So that's
Okay.
what I like to do. Um,
So
yeah.
Alexa, reminder: after releasing the game, just finish it in 24 hours, and then I'll get back to the trailer.
Mm.
I'm very curious to find that out.
Yeah.
So that's a nice thing. And you already gave us a sneak preview with the Jester voice, because we haven't really talked about that.
Mm.
How on earth did you know that you could do that? Is it something you did? Is it
No.
something already in your repertoire, or was it just something
No.
at the studio just goofing around like,
Yeah.
oh, I can do the Jester?
Yeah. No, I had no idea. I never had any ambitions to like do voice acting or acting at all. Like I'm
Mhm.
super uncomfortable in front of a camera. um, so, but I did study animation, right? So there is sort of like, if you do animation, it's about you're an actor basically. Only your acting is done through a puppet or like a character that you animate. So that I had that, and I had sort of like storytelling type of, I have a storytelling brain, I guess. But no, nothing with voice acting. But then, I on Together, basically I said, okay, I'm gonna think of a trailer, and the announcement trailer, right, the first trailer for We Were Together, and then, we had a text. Gerben, our writer, wrote a dope ass text. Okay, cool. I made the trailer, and then I needed a voice to sort of time where, like, how long is it gonna take to like say this and whatever. And at that time, I was looking for a voice actor, so it was not like we were already looking like, well, maybe somebody with like an epic voice. Okay. But yeah, I did it, and I had so much fun with it. Like the moment I started doing it, that was the best thing ever. It was so much fun to do, and then I came back the next day or 2 days, whatever, back at work, let everybody listen to it, and I think Lucia, our CEO, or I don't know who, said like, "Oh, you should just be the Jester." Like, just like, yeah, that sounds dope. You should be the Jester. And
That's
then
a great honor.
yeah, and I was immediately like, yeah, that's dope. Let's do it. And now it's, I think it's one of the most. It is the most fun thing probably for me to do, just here in my own home, and I've got all the recording stuff here, and I can just let loose here in my own house and just be the Jester, and
Because do you really have to get loose, or is this something that you just initially just put on and here's a Jester?
I feel like in the beginning I really had to let loose, and that to sort of get into the whole. But then later on, so I feel like now I can do it without any help.
Apparently so. I already had goosebumps when you did that little thing. So thank you so much for that. Isn't that a bit weird as well? That, I mean, it's a marvelous thing you do, but at the same time, when you hear it in game or in a trailer, you scare people. People don't like it. but they like it, but they don't like it.
Yeah.
Just hurting themselves with pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Well, it did make me sort of reevaluate my own voice or something. Or like for instance, when I now that's really annoying about this. Like when I now laugh,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I hear the Jester laughing, and it's like, damn it, I laugh like the Jester. And I'm so super aware all of a sudden of my own voice, which is yeah, I don't know, it's just weird. I never had that. You never really
Mm-mm.
think about your own voice, I guess, just voice. And suddenly when it's a thing that people listen to, or when suddenly it takes on this different meaning in your own head or something. I don't know, difficult to explain, but
Fair.
so I'm very aware of it all of
Mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm.
sudden, and
Every
that's
time you
weird.
laugh,
Yeah.
like, okay, no, 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 don't do the high pitch, just do the ho 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 ho,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, especially when I'm really, really laughing, like falling off the chair, I start having this like really high schoolgirl laugh voice, and then I sound
And
like the
there's a
Jester a
Jester.
lot. Yeah, yeah,
And then everyone in the office like, where is he? Where is he? No, no,
yeah.
no. Just triggering our trauma. Thank you for that. Amazing,
No
amazing.
problem. Yeah.
With pleasure again. And as a creative director about this trailer, aside from your own voice, obviously, what are you most proud of?
I think just how I feel like we worked really hard on it. Like everybody in the team and everybody brought their own sort of specializations to it, and that, like, together with the whole COVID work at home
Ooh.
stuff, which is definitely. I feel like super blessed that we still have a job, right? Because I know a lot of
Absolutely.
people who are basically communication between colleagues with each other, which is super important during a process which is like really condensed, and everybody's like making long days to make it happen, and stuff get lost in translation. That's the biggest challenge, I guess, in all of it, and I'm just super proud that everybody has pulled through. And yeah, I'm just super proud to see that now that it's online, because it's scary, It's scary
Mm-hmm.
when you finish that trailer, because like as an artist, and I think every artist that is now listening knows this. Like, you are never happy with your own work, right? Never. Like it's just something inherently, like, you only see everything that can be better. You can see,
Mm.
like, okay, it's good,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
always see like, oh, and this thing, and oh, and with that idea, it's always scary to put something out there, right? The trailer, but then when we release the trailer, and you see like, yeah, just great reactions to it, and people in the Discord and underneath the comments and whatever, and I'm like, oh, so excited, hyped, and yeah, that just makes it all worth it. And I think that goes for everybody in the team. Yeah, it's just really nice to see that the community is picking up well, and I'm just, I don't know, proud of everybody that worked on it and made long hours and did it. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Because,
yeah.
well, as a bystander, because I have absolutely zero work in this. Also, every time you showed something, it was very interesting that you just said, "Oh, well, this trailer so far, blah blah blah," but don't look at this or this or this. And then when I saw it, and I think I just saw it at the end of the stages, it blew me away. And initially, I was like, I can't wait for our community to see this. And I think that the community may underestimate this, but it means a lot to us. Just everything they put out there, or even just the fan art, or just a comment, everything like, oh, they actually really like it. This is going to be
Mm,
so epic. And you can already just feel the hype in the office as well. Everyone's like, did you see how many people
yeah,
watch it or liked it or all the
yeah,
comments or
yeah,
just the
yeah,
buzz
yeah,
going on?
yeah,
And that makes it all worth
yeah,
it, I guess.
yeah. That makes it all worth. That's exactly. It's just the reaction of the players. Um, so for example, like, or maybe I already mentioned this, I don't know, but Together, when it released, that's when sort of the first time that I felt what it was like to release a game, because I had no idea that was my
Mm-hmm.
first game. Well, I worked on one small other thing, but like that was my first big game that came out, and seeing the streamer, seeing the community, seeing the reactions of the players, seeing on Steam, the reviews and what. I was like, okay, now I understand. Now I understand, like, how important that is or something. And now that's why I do it. So like I do it because I think it's fun to do, right? It's like I just like making games, obviously, but sort of like creating a. This sounds super lame, but like creating a memory for players, right? So that in 5 years or in 10 years they'll say like, "Oh, remember when I stabbed you with a dagger in our game?" How awesome is that? That you can create a memory or an experience for people that not everybody, but some will carry for years or maybe their lives. So who knows, And that is super dope, basically. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. And I think that maybe even us as creators, we don't take that into account. There's the effect you can have on people, or even if it's just for a couple of hours, just giving him a nice time in these weird times, just to get together, forget about everything. And indeed, just now with the announcement as well, people replied on, just tagging people like, I'm going to play with you again, I'm going to betray you again, let's test our friendship again. It's a huge thing, especially we create it and then we let the baby go and have fun with it. Be gentle, but have fun.
Yeah.
It's a nice
also,
thing.
very scary moment.
Oh yes, I'm terrified already for that. Just to see the reactions, like, we know they will like it. I mean, without a doubt, but
sure.
still kind of scary.
But, it's always scary. Yeah, but it's a good scary. Like it's meant to feel alive.
Well, you hear it, people. Please, when the game is released, be gentle. Just leave nice comments because we're just there crying.
We work really hard on it. Yeah. We're all scared in the corner. Will they like it? I don't know.
Just a bundle of baby chicks together, like.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I guess so. Absolutely. But Ruud, before I let you go, can you do us vermin can you tell us anything we haven't heard already, any details? This is just me trying to be part of the community and just we need more.
Yeah, you need more.
We want more.
Can I so the vermin wants to know more. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's difficult. Like it's like there's so much I want to say, but I feel like what could I say? Yeah, I don't know. I think basically you're gonna. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a next level We Were Here experience. It's for the people that love the series. I think it's gonna be amazing. I think for people who don't know the series, it's gonna be a game that you can get into. That's also cool. Yeah, but I don't know. It's like experience it, I guess. Like it's such a small. Like if you make a game that's like 60 hours, then yeah, sure, you're gonna give like snippets of it. But, it's like this small, well, not small experience, but it's.
And it's so mysterious at the same. Yeah.
It's so scary. I don't want to give anything away, so this is the most lame answer that anyone will ever give, probably, because I have no idea. No.
Too bad. Well, folks, I tried. Okay, I tried, and maybe in a couple of months I'll talk to you again.
Yeah, maybe like farther into the future, maybe I'll give more away. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a promise, Ruud. I want to thank you so much for just joining me here. It was cool, and I can't wait to talk to you again in a couple of months. I'll definitely write down. It's set in stone now. You'll be back.
Okay. It's cool. Okay, Soraya, well, thank you for having me, and everybody have a good day.
Absolutely. Yes, people. Well, I tried to get more information, and we got a little bit of Jester there, and now we know more about the trailer and just the creative process. I want to thank you so much for watching this week's Mayhem, the podcast of Total Mayhem Studios. And like button, subscribe, all the thing that people just shout, we need that, we want that, we just yearn for that. You've heard it. We live for that. But thank you again for watching and listening to us. And I'll see you next time on this week's Mayhem.
Bye-bye.